We like to think of rationality as the ultimate tool for truth, the thing that separates us from the irrational, the illogical, the chaotic. We assume that logic is universal, that reason transcends perception. But is it really? Since so much of what we might perceive as basic common sense is derived and subjective, that leaves us with an even more profound question. One thing that might define the survival of an idea is rationality. But what of rationality itself? Is it something independent of human perception? Is it immune to our evolutionary taint, the biases that cloud our intelligence, the biases we don't even know we hold? Even mathematics, which might appear to be the closest thing to pure objectivity, is plagued by these issues if you subject it to Socratic questioning. Keep asking, why is that the case? To every answer, and you will find a pattern. Every mathematical truth has a justification, and that justification is based on another truth, which again is based on a justification, and so on. If you keep following it through, you will land yourself at the bottom of the well of truth. And though you can see even further down, see what seems to be an obvious way that leads deeper, you cannot reach it. That place where you have landed is the land of axioms. These are statements accepted to be true without justification or proof. The only proof you are given is that their negation has not yet been observed to be true, or that, so far, they have not been proven false, so they must be true. But these statements, for all their elegance, for all their necessity, lack any real substance in the way of justification. They hover precariously on the edge of fallacious reasoning, failing to bear the burden of proof that comes with a claim. They are like flying teapots orbiting Mars. They cannot be proven false, but that does not automatically make them true. And yet, we act as though they are. This raises a troubling paradox. If even the foundations of rational thought rest on assumptions, then is any reasoning truly reliable? We pride ourselves on our ability to think critically, to dissect ideas and separate truth from falsehood. But how do we know our tools for distinguishing the two aren't just a product of our own limited perspective? Perhaps rationality is not an absolute force of the universe, but rather a construct. A useful one, an essential one, but a construct nonetheless. Something shaped by human cognition, bound by the limitations of our senses, our language, our experience of time and space. A sufficiently different mind, evolved under different conditions, might come to completely different conclusions about what is rational. And to them, we would be the ones who seem absurd. Rationality, at its most fundamental level, is a psychological process. Though there are axioms and rules that it follows, those axioms and rules are man-made, and hence they carry some form of evolutionary bias. The process of reasoning itself is untrustworthy at best, since it is based on axioms that are also made by minds built not for truth, but for survival. Even the laws of logic, like the law of non-contradiction, are inventions of the mind, created to explain the perceptions of things the mind observes. But these so-called objective rules have broken down multiple times, even in the testable realms of science. Light and matter do not obey classical logic. They have dual natures, existing as both particles and waves. Reality at the quantum level does not conform to our deepest intuitions of how things should be. If the very fabric of existence does not obey our rules of rationality, how can we claim rationality itself is an objective thing? So, is the search for truth in vain? No, it isn't, because the search itself yields understanding. Though we may never know all the whys and hows of the universe, the evolution of reasoning and logic itself is only achieved through this unending pursuit of unattainable truth. And this pursuit is not meaningless. The refinement of rational thought has lifted us from caves and fire to quantum mechanics and space travel. It has broken the shackles of slavery, landed us on the moon, split the atom, and expanded our understanding of the cosmos. Rationality may not be truly objective. It may be flawed, biased, incomplete, but it is the best tool we have, and that is enough.